Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's the big one. It's the Manchester derby. It's Manchester United against Manchester City, and what better way to get over the hangover of dropping to the Europa League than playing Manchester City in a Manchester derby. We'll be talking about should Paul Pogba be starting in this game. Lots and lots to discuss. I've even got Boovy, who's a Man City fan, to come on and talk about what he thinks about this game ahead of it. But look, we will be talking about Pogba as well, but I just want to say a big shout out to Surfshark for sponsoring the show today. You can download it for free. The link is in the video description. Surfshark is a virtual private network. One of the things about Surfshark I really like is their data protection services, making sure my private messages, photos, videos and other sensitive material is protected. But the best thing about it really is that Surfshark, if you're really interested in this sort of thing, is you can change your location based on Netflix or other location specific based streaming services, so you can watch them from anywhere in the world. If you want to log into Netflix America, etc. like that, if you use Surfshark, you can do that from anywhere in the world, UK, whatever. You can also use Surfshark across as many devices as you like, even if they use at the same time, and it's available on every device you can think of, such as Android, iOS, Linux, Amazon, Fire TV. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. And also, because Supershark are super nice, they are giving United Stand viewers an exclusive 84% off and 4 months free when you use the code in the in United Stand, and that is in the video description. So thanks as always to Surfshark, and now we'll get on with this video, and we're going to be talking about Paul Pogba. Of course. Should Paul Pogba start in this game? Well, first of all, there's the team I think that we should go with. I'm going to start on a positive and say that I think we can win this. I really do think we can win this game, only because it's a Manchester derby. Manchester United should not be winning this game. Pep Guardiola is a better coach than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've spent better than us over the years. They've probably got better players, but we are playing a Manchester derby. And as you saw last week, I know Spurs beat Arsenal, but I said about that game, Arsenal's only hope in that game was that it was a North London derby. And Manchester United's only hope in this game is that it's a North London. It's not a North London derby. It's a Manchester derby. And our only hope in this game is that we are inconsistent FC. So if we were a total crap on Tuesday night, we'll probably be bloody Premier League title contenders tomorrow on Saturday afternoon or evening. So I think we'll get something out of this game. Champions League goals since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013. 84 Cristiano Ronaldo, 62 Manchester United. Bloody shame, says Paul Connolly. Yeah, but you know what? Ronaldo's played in the Champions League every year since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. We've probably not even played in half of them. So it just shows the issues with the football club. Interestingly, talking about goals though, I do want to talk about Man City's form. Sean O'Sullivan, welcome to the Members Club. Man City have not scored more than one goal in a Premier League game since September, apart from beating Burnley 5-0 last week. But take the Burnley result away, they've played 6 or 7 games and they've not scored more than one goal in any of those games, going back to Leicester in September. Man City not scoring those sort of goals. Hold on a minute. Harry Maguire says, hold my beer. I would put good money that Man City will score more than one goal against us at the weekend, but they haven't done it for quite a while. So yeah, they've not done that. Apparently they beat Fulham 2-0. But I'm talking about against, all right, Fulham and Sheffield United, they're both absolute shit. They're both in the relegation zone. What I'm saying is it's quite unusual for Manchester City not to score more than one goal in loads of games, and they haven't actually. In fact, I've got the details here. We've scored 19 goals. They've scored 17 goals. So we've outscored Man City, was the general point I was trying to make. I didn't realise we had nerds in the comments who are obsessed with Man City. I mean, who knows instantly that they scored 2 against Fulham? They must be bloody Man City. They're thinking about turning. They're thinking about becoming Man City fans already. Oh, plastics. Anyway, what I'm saying is we've scored more goals than them, 19 to their 17. Man City are not firing on all cylinders. That is what I'm trying to say. So let's get into the first point here. Obviously, we've got a formation there. I think many people aren't going to be surprised about that. We'll talk about it in a minute. But we're going to talk about Paul Pogba and whether Paul Pogba should start in this game. And obviously, there's a members club that you can join of the United Stand to support the channel. You get your little badge next to your name and a few other things that we've got a really good thing coming up next week, actually. So you can click the join button and you get your badge and everything. We also do community posts for the members, which you can get on the community page on YouTube on the United Stand page. So the post we put up this morning was for the members was, should Paul Pogba start against Man City? Now, we've had a few hundred votes on this, well, 280 actually, and yes, 20%, well actually 19% say Paul Pogba should start. 67% say drop him entirely, and 12% say put him on the bench, and that's from the United Stand members. So it's not like it's not like a Twitter poll where you might have people who are not United fans, I would say if somebody's a member of the United Stand Members Club, that they're going to be a United fan. 19% say he should start, 67% say drop him entirely, 12% put him on the bench. So actually, 67% say drop him entirely. And that's the big message coming across, which gives an insight into what Manchester United fans feel. And I would... I know certain people from the club keep an eye on this, and I would be feeding that back to the board and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that 67% of United fans don't want him in the squad at all. Which is interesting, isn't it? What do I think? What do you think, who are watching this live now? Mark, when Ollie gets a centre-back in January, he then has got nowhere to hide. No more excuses, says Tyler Hughes. Yeah, but he bought Harry Maguire. I mean, I'm as you said, I'm very much, I hope we win, and let's see where we are in May, but I'm not going to lie for Ollie. Like, get him a centre-back in January. He had an £80 million centre-back. You know, he's already had a centre-back. So, yeah. Anyway, welcome to the Members Club, Lewis Gallen. So, would I play Paul Pogba in this game? Well, as you can see on the team on my left, this is how I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to line up for this game. So, I don't think Paul Pogba will start, because we're definitely going to play a back five, aren't we? We played back fives against Man City a couple of times. We beat them 3 times last season. We beat them, and 2 times we used a back five. So I think he will use a back five, and he will bring Fred back in, because we missed Fred massively. Remember that stat that we only win 33% of our games when Fred doesn't play. It goes up massively when he does. And we needed Fred on Tuesday night. So Fred will come back in. He can't drop McTominay. You know, he can't even sub McTominay when he's playing crap, so he's not going to drop him. So McTominay will play because of his energy and his passion. And so that will be his midfield too, because it will be Bruno ahead of that with a front two. So I don't think Pogba's going to start anyway, regardless of whether his agent had said what he'd said on Monday night or not. So I don't expect Paul Pogba to start. Among the top 10 goal-scoring teams, only United haven't qualified. The defence has consistently let us down this season, says Ami. And either result will infuriate me. If we win, then why did we lose to Leipzig? If we lose, then we are crap. If we draw, screw draws, says Yazza. So basically, any result, and Yazza's in a bad mood. I want to win. I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday, and tomorrow I'll probably feel better than I do today about United. I'm furious, but I'm not surprised that we were back in the Europa League, to be honest with you. And as I said a lot of that this morning. So it's, we are... At the moment, it's Christmas time, we can dream, and at the moment we are quite close to the top of the Premier League, and if we win on Saturday night, people will be talking about winning the league again, which isn't going to happen, but I hope it can continue the dream for a little bit longer. I don't want to be depressed on Christmas Day. So if United could win their next 3 and just let me dream for Christmas, that would be nice. But we will go with the back five, and... whether that's right or wrong, I'll come to in a minute, but what involvement should Paul Pogba have? You know what? I've got to look at this from a community point of view. There are people I know that want Pogba to play. There's a lot of people who don't want him to play. My personal opinion is sell him on January the 1st. It's only 3 weeks exactly 3 weeks away. Just 3 weeks. He missed over 3 months last year with injury. Just pretend he's injured. Just don't have him involved. That's what I would say. I just think it creates more problems. We know he wants to go. This is the thing. It's not really even our fault as fans to say what I'm going to say here. He wants to go. He's unhappy. So let him go and spend Christmas with his family. Mino can come round. We play a bit of Ludo or something. Let him, just don't get him involved. I don't see the point in Paul Pogba playing games for United. It's like a ridiculous. It's like a 3-week loan. We're gonna get rid of him in January. We've got to. So I wouldn't play him. I think Donny van der Beek isn't Paul Pogba, but Donny van der Beek isn't a bad player to come in and hasn't played enough games for me. So Donny van der Beek, for me, not Paul Pogba. I wouldn't even have him on the bench, but I expect him to be on the bench against Man City because he was against Leipzig. But I wouldn't pick him, and I wouldn't have him on the bench. But that's my personal opinion. If he's on the bench, if he starts the game, look, I want to win. But to me, I just think the club, it's futile to use him because he's not unless there's a chance that he's going to sign a new contract. Which how would that work? I don't think many fans would want him to sign a new contract now. It just doesn't seem any point in playing him. It's just a distraction. Pronunciation Christmas treat for you, Mark, says Mark H. Salzburg player Dominic Sobosli. You're welcome. Oh, that's a great. That's my best Christmas present so far. Thank you very much for that. So it's Dominic Sobosli. is the player from Salzburg. Thank you for Mark H there. Sabosli, I'll try and remember that one. I'll forget it in a few minutes. Not sure what the deal is with Pogba. Of course, Pogba must play because we want to win. He probably will try his best to impress his buyers. You see, that's a different opinion. Nothing wrong with that. That's a different opinion, and that's absolutely fine. But I think we're going to play a back five, like I said. Obviously, Telles, Wan-Bissaka will be the wing backs. Shaw will play with Maguire and Lindelof, and it'll be Fred and McTominay. So there won't be a place for Paul Pogba or Donny van der Beek anyway, or Nemanja Matic. Those three will be on the bench. Can't believe Donny needed Pogba to self-sabotage for him to get minutes, says Uber Melon. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think even with Pogba self-sabotaging, he won't start Donny van der Beek because it'll be McTominay and Fred. You know that's going to be the team. And you know what? If I'm absolutely honest, when I look at that back five and the 3 and the 2, I've got to be honest. Want to win the Manchester derby, but ultimately, I understand the person who said that they'd be frustrated if we do win because it's just the inconsistency is becoming frustrating. Because if that team wins, what's the future with that team? It's a back five with some of our better players on the bench. It's a counter-attacking, cowardly way to play at Old Trafford, and that's what we're going to do. And we were doing this a year ago. And this is not Manchester United. This is not progress. This is not a philosophy. This is what Stoke do. This is what small clubs do when big clubs come to town. And it's a Manchester derby, so they live in the town that we live. It's just not the way to do it. But he's got to do that because God no, do I want him to go with a 4-3-2-1 against Man City. We'll get annihilated. I know that's how we've got to play because we've not, over the last 2 years, developed a style of play. The players, if you said to the players, go and play your normal way, they'd go, well, what we're doing today then? 5-3-2, 4-2-3-1, diamond, trying something new. Like, we don't have a philosophy, so we have to play like that against Man City. But to be honest with you, playing like that against Man City, it is cowardly. It's not Manchester United to play a back five and hit a team on the break, but we're going to do it. And I hope we win doing it. But if we do win doing it, how could you sit there on Saturday night and say we're in a title race when we still don't know what our best 11 is, and we still don't know what our formation is, and we still don't know what our philosophy is? It is infuriating, but it will probably work. I just hope Pogba becomes the catalyst that Coutinho became when Liverpool sold him in January, says Yazza Said. Thank you very much for the super chat there. Why don't you do this preview after the press conference? You get injury updates and a confirmed squad to make your team. Just a suggestion, says Gunjan. Thanks for the suggestion, Gunjan. We're not going to change how we do it because I do how I like to do it, but I understand what you mean. But I like to do the preview a couple of days before because we've always done that, and I actually think it allows you to talk more about the game, whereas the press conference is always talking about what Ollie says, and you can always adapt that team. On injuries, Cavani and Martial, I'd be stunned if they can play in this game, because if they can play in this game, why couldn't we rush them back for that game? It's literally 2 or 3 days difference. So I don't think Martial or Cavani can be fit for this game. I really don't. So I think that, we're going to be using Greenwood and Rashford again, of course. Now, there is a comment in there about justice for De Gea. You may have noticed down next to the code for the Surfshark, which you can download and get free for 3 months plus an 83% discount. Dean Henderson is there. You don't get Dean Henderson, but I do think we're going to get Dean Henderson in goal on Saturday evening. Embarrassing, no patience left. Players to sack Ollie, says Alfred. Now, where do you stand on whether Henderson should play in goal or De Gea? Now, look. Dean Henderson can play on Saturday night. I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered. This is an argument I'm not going to get into. Life's too short. There's way more important things than who's going to go in goal, because Dean Henderson is a good goalkeeper. I'm not going to deny that. I never have. But what has come to pass here is what I predicted would happen in the summer when we kept Dean Henderson and gave him 140k when we could have loaned him or even sold him and got 40 million and bought a centre-back. We've got 2 goalkeepers who are too good to be at the club together. One of those should be our first team goalkeeper every single game, and the other one shouldn't be here. We have screwed this season up, and this is yet another mistake made by inexperienced, incompetent people in power at that football club. We've got 2 Premier League class goalkeepers. We've got 2 of the top 5 paid players in the country, and they both play in a position where you only need one. And Henderson's getting moody because he's not starting, quite understandable. De Gea's probably going to get dropped because there's a media backlash against him because he's not English. And fans are now having to make a decision on a position that actually is important but isn't anywhere near our biggest problem. Changing our goalkeeper in the Manchester derby, David De Gea for Dean Henderson will be hilarious. I'm going to laugh when the team news comes out on Saturday night and Henderson's in goal and De Gea's not. You know why I'm going to laugh? Because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous how a goalkeeper who has been very good for us this season and wasn't at fault for hardly any goals this season, he's not made any major clangers, has been scapegoated for us going out of the Champions League. He wasn't even in goal against Istanbul. He's not at fault for any goals against PSG or them the other night. Little bit at fault on the third goal, but massively at fault, Harry Maguire. But we're going to drop our goalkeeper. That's the big idea. That's the big idea here. We're going to drop our goalkeeper and change him for Dean Henderson. And that's going to make everything okay. It's hilarious. I will laugh tomorrow night if we drop David De Gea for Dean Henderson. And you know why I will laugh? Because if we're dropping David De Gea for Dean Henderson, how the hell are Lindelof and Maguire starting? I mean, let's get real. How can you drop David De Gea and not drop your two centre-backs who've basically dropped us into the Europa League? And this is why I'm very relaxed about this, and I refuse to get drawn into an argument about, oh, Henderson should play De Gea shit. If you think that, that's fine. But the worst thing is dropping De Gea when he's not really done anything wrong and then keeping going with those centre-backs. It shows you the shambles of the football club, that they make a big decision to drop De Gea, but then they keep the centre-backs who've basically screwed everybody up. So, I really don't care if Henderson starts in goal. For me, De Gea has done nothing wrong. He's been scapegoated by the British press as per usual because he's not English. And he's now being scapegoated by some people in the club, apparently, are leaking out that they this is hilarious as well. Some players in the club are leaking to the press, apparently, that they want David De Gea to be dropped for Dean Henderson. How thick are these players? Do they not analyse football? Tell me how many games we've lost because of David De Gea this season, and I'll tell you 30 games we've lost because of our centre-backs. And we've not even played 30 games. But they will lose us, because what I'm saying is they're on download. Don't worry. However many games our centre-backs have cost us this season, add another 15, because they're on download. They're definitely coming. But yeah, I think that I just think the Dean Henderson David De Gea situation was always going to happen. You've got two very good goalkeepers, and you're always going to overanalyse your goalkeeper to get the other goalkeeper in. And when Dean Henderson comes in, he'll have 3 or 4 games, and then he'll make a mistake, and the press will be like, De Gea's got to come back. It's a perfect storm for the press, having 2 brilliant goalkeepers going after one spot. And this is what we're seeing. And the scapegoating of De Gea is so that Henderson can come in. And then it'll happen to Henderson. If you go back through Liverpool's season or Man City's season, Ederson and Alisson are very good goalkeepers. I guarantee you they've probably made the same amount of mistakes, or they're culpable for the same amount of goals that De Gea is. But they won't be dropped because their managers have a brain and they have a number 1 goalkeeper. We thought it was a good idea to get rid of Alexis Sanchez, 400 grand a week, give 140 grand a week of it to Dean Henderson, and then sit him on the bench. Idiotic. Again, incompetence running through the football club. Dropping De Gea would be disgusting. I refuse to scapegoat a fantastic loyal servant of the club. We need to back our loyal players, says Leon. Well, no, if he's not performing, he should be dropped, Leon. But the fact that we're looking to scapegoat the goalkeeper after Tuesday night would be disgusting. I agree, because we didn't go out because of David De Gea. We went out because of our defence. So drop your defenders. The only player that wants De Gea dropped is Lord Maguire, says Rahul. Yeah, well, he'll blame anybody, won't he? Because it's never his fault. And Dean Henderson in, says Aliyah. Dean Henderson can play BTEC Champions League, says Rishab. I don't mind if Henderson plays in goal. I just think it's hilarious that we will do that as the big statement thing to as going out, when we know the 2 Pratts in front of the goalkeeper are a problem. And all I would say to Dean Henderson, if he does start, good luck, mate, because you've got a couple of Pratts playing in front of you. You're going to be very, very busy. What else do we want to talk about? We spoke about Pogba, we spoke about De Gea, we spoke about injuries. I think Martial and Cavani will be out. What about Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who are making major errors week in, week out? It's not fair to blame De Gea, says Mo Ali. Well, the British press are, as per usual. You know why Wan-Bissaka and Maguire don't get the blame? Because they're English. Should clubs refuse to work with poor player agents, says Cash Out? And look, I'm English. I'm English, by the way. But my eyes are wide open to some of our ex-players and the media who forever and ever just let the English players get off. I used to think it was because they were youth players. from Manchester United. But actually, you can expand it to English players. If they are English players at Manchester United, you get a free pass. If you're not English, you'll get scapegoated. And you can be Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, David De Gea. The list goes on. And Bruno's even had it a little bit. You know, they all always the same. But, you know, if you're Harry Maguire, if you're Aaron Wan-Bissaka, if you're Marcus Rashford, if you're Jesse Lingard, if you're Luke Shaw, you're going to get away with it. And I like some of those players. I like most of those players, actually. But the bias is ridiculous. Amongst all the incompetency in the club, we also have an English bias. Hey Mark, I've been watching since about 400k subs. Can you do a history of the United stand at 1 million subs? It would be cool to see how the crew came together, says Emil Garcia. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Okay, let's talk about some other things. Obviously, we're up again. We're going for. I'll tell you what, a bit of positivity here. A bit of positivity in the hilarity. We're going for 5 wins in a row, people. We're going for 5 Premier League wins in a row. 5 wins in a row if we win on Saturday. What's everyone moaning about? We're going for 5 wins in a row, so that's a bit of positivity. Our players are too casual. They never look serious, says Abuf. So we're going for 5 wins in a row. What I would say is this is a very, very important game when you look at the Premier League table, because as the Premier League is now, it looks quite accommodating to Manchester United. If we win our game in hand, we're 2 points off the top. But if you look at the table on Sunday night, if we lose, Liverpool are playing Fulham, 3 points. I think Chelsea are playing Everton at home, so you'd expect them to win that, 3 points. Spurs are playing Palace, should be 3 points. Even Leicester, I think, are playing someone like Sheffield United, 3 points. And then Man City would have 3 points ahead of us. So everybody looks like they're going to win this weekend. And if we lose, we'll suddenly drop. And behind us, it's not that many points to 10th. So losing on Saturday could really be a reality bite to, we're only 2 points off the title if we win. I think this game is symbolic, because I think if we lose it, we'll just drift further and further away for the rest of the season. If we win it, then, you know, you're clinging on, hoping to stay close. And as we know, winning the title and coming fourth at the moment, it's a thin line. You know, you're basically the same thing. Spurs, Liverpool, Chelsea, very, very close together. You know Man City are going to join that argument at some point. So very, very big game on Saturday night. I don't think on Sunday morning, if we lose, people are going to be going, we're only 2 points off the title if we win our game in hand. So we need to win. There is an importance to this game beyond the Manchester derby. It's a symbolic game if you lose it, because you will start to fall away. And that chasing, that leading pack is looking very consistent. I mean, Liverpool do play Spurs on Wednesday and we play Sheffield United on Thursday. So there's a little chance to close some more gap if we can get the win against Man City. Did you see Scholes and Ferdinand blame De Gea for the third Leipzig goal, says Omar Solomon. To be honest with you, I tend to pick up comments from ex-players. I don't listen to ex-players that much, because they live in this sheltered bubble where they're paid loads and loads of money to talk to like BT and everything like that. And that they as I said, I just feel that BT Sports the other night was like watching MUTV. That's what many people said. And I was reading a lot of the quotes and I was like, they may as well be working for Manchester United Football Club. Everything they're doing is just, in my opinion, it's wrong. I mean, two ex-England internationals and two United greats blaming a goalkeeper ahead of Harry Maguire, who is 90% at fault for that goal. And people say there's no agendas. Don't you feel Ollie goes back 5 because he doesn't trust his defenders? Probably your formation would be different and expressive if we had better defenders, says Cowell. And is Maguire more of a problem than a solution? We'll be better off worse if we had Chris Smalling instead of Harry Maguire. We did with 80.1 points, says Yazza Said. Mark, see you in the Europa League final. We might have Don Allegri by the end. And of course, Martinelli will be back, says Zayn Miasi. I still think Harry Maguire would play better if he had Upamecano or somebody quick next to him. I still think there's a decent defender in there. But what I would say is we've definitely been sold something we didn't think we were getting. I think we all thought we were getting this, one of the world's best centre-backs. He's never going to be one of the world's best centre-backs. We got absolutely rinsed by Leicester. He's a £50 million centre-back. He's not an £80 million centre-back, and he's never going to be an £80 million centre-back. I was quite excited about the signing of Maguire, and you hoped he was going to do what Bruno did in a centre-back way, a step up. But I don't think he's got it in his game to go up a level. I think he just needs a quick centre-back next to him, and he could be all right, but we'll have to wait and see. Talking about Manchester City, they have They're 1 point behind us at the moment. They've conceded 11 goals and they've only scored 17 goals. We've conceded more goals than them, but we've scored 2 more than them. So it shows you that City are not firing on all cylinders. And if we can somehow, and with a back five, you would hope we can. If we can defend well, then we can hit them on the break. We know that. I mean, look, there's nowhere to hide in this game tactically. There's no great tactic show to deliver ahead of this game. It's one of the most easiest games to predict of the season in relation to how it's going to go. The result is the hard thing to predict. But Manchester United will play deep, whether it's a back five, which I think it will be. We will play deep. We will play deep and we will get as many people behind the ball as possible. That will become a back seven with Fred and McTominay behind a back five. And what will happen then is Man City will have a lot of the ball. They'll try and pass their way through us because that's the Pep way. But there'll be a red wall in front of them. And what we'll try to do is when they play a bad pass and they overcommit is we'll hit them on the break with pace with Rashford and Greenwood and Bruno trying to feed them. And that's how the game will go. And it could end up being Man City can't break through the red wall because there's so many of us. We get a clean sheet and we score a goal or two and we win 2-0. Or they will break through us early on. They'll score. We'll carry on doing what we're doing. They'll score again, and we'll end up losing 2-0. I don't see it being a 4 or 5-0 game. I don't think Oli would open up against Pep Guardiola, but I can see us winning the game because Aguero won't start in this game. Pep Guardiola's already said that, and I don't think Jesus is that good. I think De Bruyne has been very hit and miss this season. I think Sterling's inconsistent, and I think Mahrez is a great player, but Luke Shaw tends to do quite well against him. So I can see a win for Manchester United in this game. I don't think Man City are the great hope that everybody thinks they are. But that leads me nicely into, we've got a Man City fan in Boovie, and I think you're going to find this quite interesting, what he has got to say about this game. Let me just get the, where are we? Don't want you. We do want you.
Great to be on the United stand. Always a privilege to make my debut on such a big Man United fan channel. Obviously, as a Man City fan, it's a massive game for City. I think if we win this, we really are ramping up the pressure on the teams ahead of us in the Premier League. And obviously, it's a derby, so we want to beat Man United. Last season was poor. We obviously lost 3 games against Man United. And even in the one game we did win, obviously the 3-1, I thought we were poor at points as well. So it wasn't a great showing. This season, I think we look a lot stronger. I think our defence is sorted out. Ruben Diaz and Laporte should be starting. But John Stones could start as well. He's been superb when he's been playing. We've kept a lot of clean sheets recently. Fernandinho could start in midfield as well. So we look even stronger than we did last season, I'd say, in terms of injuries. Kevin De Bruyne's fully fit. Sterling and Aguero could play as well. It's going to be a massive game because I think United have a lot of pressure on, obviously ahead of us on the table at the moment, but the result in the Champions League was poor. Fair play to Oli for getting Man United into the Europa League, though. It's a massive achievement for his managerial career. But in reality, I know Man United fans are gutted of where they are. A lot of players are underperforming. Obviously, the Paul Pogba situation is poor as well. But I do hope, as a Man City fan, that it affects Man United enough that we go out and beat Man United comfortably on the weekend. We need it for our title aspirations. United have got a lot of dangerous players. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, if he starts, which you probably will, if he starts, he's going to be so dangerous against us. So if we can sort of nullify his threat, United could be dangerous. But in reality, City are in a different league to Man United. So it should be a comfortable, I'll go 3-0 win. I'd like to know what your thoughts are.
First of all, I just want to thank our research team for finding a Man City fan. Very, very hard to find one, and that's one that's so well spoken. I don't think it's going to be 3-0. That's Boovie, Man City fan, and I don't think it's going to be 3-0. I don't think the evidence is there that Man City scored a lot of goals this season, and I think a lot of that's probably to do with adjustment defensively. They're trying to concede less goals, so I don't think it'll be 3-0. Of course, Man City can win this game. Of course, it could be quite a tight game, is what I'm expecting. We're going to play deep and tight, and apparently that's what Jack Grealish has been doing by the sounds of it in the live comments. I've just had a quick look. I don't know what's going on with Jack Grealish, but a lot of people are talking about Jack Grealish. There's a picture on Twitter of Jack Grealish having a good time, which is allowed. The thing is, if you're a professional footballer, you almost want to go into the bedroom with a metal detector. No phones allowed is all I'm going to say. But look, he's a lad. Jack Grealish is a lad, isn't he? And you're allowed to do that. There's nothing. I hope anybody who's looking at what Jack Grealish is doing is not judging it. I mean, he's a young lad in the bedroom, happy, and you know that he's got a lot to be happy about. So there we go. But it's just. It must be horrible when those sort of pictures end up on social media, but I won't worry about it, Jack. I think you know. I think a lot of people will be saying, "Well done." Hi, Mark. Why do you think the players always seem to play better when they have their backs against the wall? Says Tom Kent. Weak mentality, really. Weak mentality. You suddenly realise that you might be losing your place in the team because a new manager's going to come in, and you fight. You know, we all know these people, don't we? Who they can't be arsed, but when they need to, they'll just do it. You know, and the real winners are the ones who do it every week, and that's always the case. But no, I don't see Man City beating us by a large margin. They've not been doing that this season, and as I said, look, Harry Maguire might say "hold my beer" and mess it up with us with Lindelof. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Harry Maguire plays well on Saturday, because he's going to have. You know, not normally he's only got 4 players surrounding him to make him look good. I think on Saturday night with a back 5, he's going to have Luke Shaw, Lindelof, 2 holding midfielders, 2 full-backs. They're just going to surround him, bubble wrap FC. So I can see my score prediction is going to be 2-0 to United. I think we can stop Man City scoring because we'll play so defensive, and then on the break we can maybe nick a couple of goals. But apparently, as Boovy said, Man City are better defensively this year. So remember last year, you always knew you could get at Man City, and we did. Defensively, they might be better this year, so we'll have to wait and see. What are your thoughts about bringing Alaba in the summer? He will be free. He's fast left centre-back, and Maguire moves to the right, says Omar. I mean, I'd love it. I'd love to see it happen, but I don't think that we've got the... I don't think we've got the draw to get a player like Alaba. You know, why would he want to come to a team that's not probably going to be in the Champions League? I think at the moment we're not going to be in the Champions League. I think that's why the game against City is so important. If we lose to City on Saturday, all the other teams above us I expect to win, and that gap starts to open again. And it's not just the gap to the title, which is unrealistic. It's the gap to 4th place, which is our target. So I don't think we're going to get Champions League football at this moment in time, unless this team starts being consistent. Because the difference between this season and last year is, teams are being inconsistent a bit because of COVID, but I don't think 64, 65 points is going to get you 3rd place. I think you're going to need over 70 points, and I'm not convinced United can get over 70 points unless they continue this run in the league that they've been on. You know, we need to win on Saturday, and I think we can win, and I think we are going to win. And part of the reason I think we're going to win is because this is who we are, inconsistent. We can't do it regularly enough to be successful, but God, when you expect us to lose, we'll turn up, and I think we will be turn up FC. So yeah, let's see what happens. Justice says, who is the guy in the photo with Grealish? It's not a guy. It's not a guy. No one ever thinks that's a guy. It's definitely not a guy. And Lucas 4 says, I'm at the acceptance stage of this process, and I think that is bang on. I am as well, Lucas. I've accepted that we're going to be inconsistent, and I'm hoping that we will get top 4. But I think we won't. I think we'll win some, we'll lose some, and this is going to continue all the way till May. We won't get top 4, and then Ollie will be moved aside for a new manager, and that is what I think is going to happen at this moment. I hope I'm wrong. And look, I know there's a lot of people who are Ollie out, and there's a lot of people who are hoping, like me, that he can still be the man. But I'm expecting inconsistency, because that's what we've had for 7 years. And I think Solskjaer will not get top 4, and we will not get in the Champions League through the Europa League, and therefore he will be moved aside for a new manager in the summer. And I think that's probably what United think as well, and that's what we're building towards doing. Look, smash a like on the video, everybody. Remember to do that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can also become a member by clicking the join button. Thanks to all the members who've got involved on the community poll about Paul Pogba. Most people saying Paul Pogba shouldn't even be part of the squad on Saturday, but obviously it's always down to opinion. And remember, we've got we will be back tonight with a show at 8 o'clock, and also you can get Surfshark, download it. The first 3 months are free, and then it's 83% off. Virtual private network, thanks to Surfshark. Link is in the video description for that. And I'll speak to you very soon. Big game on Saturday though, really looking forward to it, and I think we're going to win it.